Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Tom. Thank you for joining me this evening. I just happened to come out here in the middle of the night. It's about to be 11 o'clock at night, and there's a train horn just blaring through here. That should be illegal, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm out here with the Duchess. She's inspecting. Oh no, it looks like she's just checking her email. I'll let her do her thing, but I decided to come out here just to quickly give you guys an update of some progress that has happened today. So I hinted in an earlier video that there's going to be an addition to our family, and originally when I made that video, I didn't know anything about the Bolt EUV or its progress. So I'm going to update that statement and say there's going to be a second thing that's joining our family. So I decided to invest in a subcompact tractor. Now, I know it's kind of random and weird, but it's kind of, it's kind of a need when you have some ridiculous amounts of grass that you need to take care of. Now, I'll get back to this in a second, but first and foremost, about the Bolt EUV. I just wanted to update you guys that the paperwork was all sent over. I mentioned that in yesterday's video, but it was all sent over and it was all received. I asked for a confirmation to make sure that everything that they needed, they had, and that there was no additional hangups, because honestly, my patience is like this big right now. And, you know, for a very patient guy, that says a lot. But anyway, wanted to make sure that they had all the financial data that they needed. It was a little strange of some of the things that they asked me for, but suffice it to say, maybe it was just the way she phrased it, I don't know. But I provided her all of the screenshots and documentation that I could find to meet her requirements. Unfortunately, I did not get a response back from her today at all, and I sent two emails, one this morning after I got started, and then one before the close of business, somewhere around, 5 o'clock or so this evening. So it's kind of a, one of those things where you're like, you can't just hit reply and say, yeah, I got it. But I understand that she's probably overworked and underpaid or whatever. I don't know what GM pays, but suffice it to say, I feel like the dealership having my vehicle has settled a lot of my my stresses and anxieties. Like, that saying that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Speaking of which, look at that moon right there. Kind of nice, coming up from behind the clouds over there. But ironically, there's my light at the end of the tunnel. I can see it now. Before, I felt like the breaker was turned off and nobody really cared, or things were just being drawn out as time went on. And suffice it to say, I can breathe now. So, and ironically, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in another video, but I'll mention it here. So for those who don't know, I still work for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. And they have some requirements that require our badges, our government badges, to be updated regularly every few years with the certificates that are required to maintain, operational security and access control and stuff like that. So I got an email from them saying, from JPL saying, hey, we need you to come into the badging office now. I don't know how the communication works at JPL, but there's clearly somebody there that doesn't realize that I'm 2,000 miles away from JPL. So I reached out to the individuals that, I guess that be, and they responded back to me telling me that, oh, I can go to any NASA center and get the process done. So I decided that because the Bolt EV is, well, the light's at the end of the tunnel, hopefully I'll be able to make my first road trip actually up to Washington, D.C. to NASA headquarters to get my credentials taken care of. So I will do that. I don't know what day it is. If I get my car within the next week or so, then it'll be great. Otherwise, I have to get a rental and do it that way. But all that for another video, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. But I did get a follow-up email from another party yesterday that it would take a few more weeks. Like, I remember that statement being in the email, and I don't know if it was just, you know, a statement that was kind of blanketly made, because sometimes financial processes can take a while for approvals and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's going to happen with this process, because you have to remember that I've been in touch with the buyback coordinators as well as the dealership since the beginning, since we moved out here, since June. We've been all over this, and I've been sending them periodic emails with like my driver's licenses, a picture of front and back of my driver's license, and a few other details. But the one thing that we couldn't do was start the financial paperwork until we knew when the car was ready for delivery. So now that it's ready, I don't know what the process entails from GM side, from the dealership side. All I know is that when I talked to the dealer yesterday, he told me that he's just waiting on the paperwork to come through. So whatever that process entails, hopefully this whole thing will be done by week's end. But judging by how things are going, this could take into next week. And the previous video that I was talking about may not happen, at least not in the way that I wanted it to happen, with regards to road tripping the Bolt EUV for the first time shortly after receipt. So we just have to see how things go and who says what, and hopefully by tomorrow I'll have a better idea as to what it entails. Now, to go over to the second point that I made, I decided to purchase a subcompact tractor. And I know it's dark out here, but you guys can see the amount of grass that's literally lit up by this lamp pole behind me, all the way up to the house there, all the way down to this perimeter fence that's around the reservoir, as well as kind of to the end of this tree right here, which is where our property line is. We were previously paying, I don't know, I can tell you it was hundreds of dollars per mowing session to clip this grass. And I figure in the 7 months or so that we've been here, we could have had a hefty deposit on a tractor that could either pull a deck behind it or have a belly mower installed. So I looked into it, and they're not that expensive considering what you're getting for them. And I also got a model that's got a whole bunch of expandability and capabilities built into it, to where you can do everything from plow snow to mow grass to install a backhoe on the back of it if you want to dig, have a bucket on the front of it if you need to move stuff like rocks or what have you. And I feel like that'll be a great addition to our family. And I don't know if it has enough power and capabilities to take out like that stump right there. I was thinking about getting a long drill bit, drilling through that, tying a chain around it and putting it onto the tractor and just get going and see if it will pull that out without pulling any of the attachments off the tractor. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you because I was out here, it's kind of warm, and I thought to myself, you know what? The paperwork was approved, the finances were approved, and I just need to wait for that to be delivered. Actually, I did reach out to that dealership, which is about, I want to say 30 miles southwest of us. And they were pretty good about getting everything started. And when I talked to my contact there, he did tell me that all they need to do was schedule for service the installation of the belly mower, because that's what I actually went with, as opposed to getting like a PTO driven deck that you pull behind it. I figured that would just take up too much space and maybe, maybe not. I can always change it out. You know, if I don't like it, I can always, you know, put the belly mower, you know, into our storage and use a, you know, like a 6 foot deck that you drag behind. It's all up in the air. I got to try it, give it a shot. I didn't want to blow a lot of cash out front. I just wanted to get it here and then figure out, you know, the property. You know, this is all on a slope, so I got a 4x4 model, which will hopefully be able to handle, you know, going uphill and kind of going around turns and not getting stuck and stuff like that. So this ground is really soft. I mean, you guys know how much rain we get here, and winter, summer, it doesn't seem to stop. So I got a feel for it, and I feel like the money that I was just spending to have one guy sit out here for 3 or 4 hours on a zero turn or riding mower or whatever he had and do a really crappy job at it. And by crappy job, I meant there are still some places that have 18 to 25 inches of grass that were never cut off. And it kind of went into hibernation now that it's cooler. The grass doesn't grow fast. But nevertheless, every time they left, I would be like, really? You had one job to do and you didn't do it. So I guess all that is coming to an end. Getting a bolt EUV in the driveway was priority, and now we added another vehicle. This is a diesel powered tractor, so we'll see. You know, this is not a huge property, but I don't intend to just use it here. I intend to be able to trailer it with my wife's RAV4. Her RAV4 can tow a bunch. We towed 2,300 pounds with it. The hitch is rated for 4,000, and the mower weighs, I think, just under 1,400 pounds, I think. So it should be fine. And I don't intend on doing it full time. It's just a one-time pop. We went across the country with that thing, and with a U-Haul trailer, and it did pretty good. So also, the RAV4 is up for replacement, so we're still researching, trying to find out, you know, what we're going to do. But it's definitely going to be, you know, some kind of a 6-cylinder vehicle that we can use for towing or some, you know, some work around what I'm starting to call a farm, because we had the idea of putting fruit trees in and doing a greenhouse or doing a garden, starting to grow our own stuff. Now that we know that the climate is really, you know, it's actually a really good climate. I feel like outside of the freezing temperatures in the wintertime, you know, which a greenhouse would prevent, I think outside of that, you know, spring, summer, fall, primo time to grow good food. So we'll see. All right, guys, I'm going to cut that off here because our Duchess here is starting to get upset. I just heard her whimper. It's not cold out here, by the way. I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. It's about 60 degrees, nice and cool. No wind. Clouds are starting to roll in because we're supposed to get rain. But I love that moon. That's going to be my light at the end of the tunnel for a while, because I've been waiting a long time for this, and I feel like I want to get, you know, everything from this channel to the content to what I provide you guys in terms of data and research and whatever. I want it to be top notch. And I feel like for the last 7 months, I've lost subscribers. I've lost the ability to create a bunch of content, and, you know, the opportunities were just dwindling. And I feel like right now, that's starting to come back up. So all of you guys that have stuck around all of these months supporting us from 2017 until now, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, I really can't express how much you guys ultimately mean to me, to my family, because you guys help us out by watching, by subscribing, by liking, by commenting, all of that stuff. You know, you guys are like our extended family, and there's no way to say thank you that will actually encompass all of the emotion that come with it. So again, thank you very much. Always go down below, leave me your thoughts. In the meantime, thank you for watching. and have a great evening.